As winter approached, the spiders of Silken Haven prepared for the harsh conditions that lay ahead. The trees were stripped of their leaves, and the once bustling forest grew quiet under a blanket of snow. The colony had stockpiled food and reinforced their webs to withstand the weight of ice and snow, but they knew it would be a difficult season. Elara took on the role of ensuring that every spider had enough to survive. She coordinated the distribution of food and resources, working tirelessly to keep morale high. Drekon, now a valued member of the colony, used his strength to help fortify their homes against the cold. One particularly harsh evening, a fierce blizzard swept through the forest, tearing down webs and scattering the spiders' food stores. The devastation was immense, and the colony was left reeling. Many spiders lost their homes and were left vulnerable to the elements. In the aftermath of the storm, Elara rallied the colony. "We must come together and help each other rebuild," she urged. "No one can survive this alone. We need to share what we have and support one another." As they worked to recover, Elara noticed a growing tension within the colony. Resources were scarce, and some spiders began to hoard food, fearing they would not have enough to last the winter. Disputes broke out, and the sense of unity began to fray. Elara knew she had to address the situation before it spiraled out of control. She called a meeting where she spoke to the colony with a mixture of firmness and compassion. "We are all struggling," she said, "but we cannot let fear drive us apart. We must remember the power of forgiveness and cooperation. By sharing what we have and supporting each other, we will get through this together." Her words resonated with many, but there were still those who held on to their fear and anger. One spider, named Thera, accused Elara of favoring certain members of the colony. "Why should I share my food when others hoard theirs?" Thera demanded. "This isn't fair." Elara took a deep breath, choosing her words carefully. "I understand your frustration, Thera, but holding on to anger and resentment will only make things worse. We must forgive each other and work together. If anyone is hoarding food, they must be encouraged to share. We are stronger when we stand united." To set an example, Elara offered her own food stores to be distributed among those who had the least. Her act of generosity inspired others to do the same, and gradually, the hoarded supplies were shared. The colony began to rebuild their homes and restore their sense of community. Drakon, who had once been an outcast, stepped up to help those in need. His transformation from a rogue spider to a pillar of the community was a testament to the power of forgiveness and second chances. His actions further reinforced Elara's message, showing that even those who had caused harm could change and contribute positively. As the winter wore on, the colony faced numerous challenges, but their unity and resilience saw them through. They learned to forgive each other's shortcomings and support one another, building a stronger, more cohesive community in the process. One evening, as the colony gathered to share a meal, Arachne spoke to them. "We have faced great adversity this winter, but we have come through it stronger and more united. Let us carry forward the lessons of forgiveness and cooperation, for they are the foundation of our strength." Elara looked around at her fellow spiders, feeling a deep sense of pride and gratitude. She knew that the journey of forgiveness was ongoing, but she was committed to it for the sake of her colony and her own growth. As spring approached, the forest began to awaken from its winter slumber. The spiders of Silken Haven were eager to repair their webs and resume their normal activities. The harsh winter had brought them closer together, but new challenges loomed on the horizon. One morning, Elara received troubling news. A series of mysterious disappearances had occurred within the colony. Several spiders had gone missing, their webs left abandoned and torn. Fear spread through Silken Haven, and suspicion grew. Many believed that Tarantus's colony was responsible, reigniting old tensions. Arachne called an emergency council meeting to address the crisis. "We must find out what is happening and ensure the safety of our colony," she said. "But we must not jump to conclusions or let fear drive us to blame others without evidence." Elara volunteered to lead an investigation into the disappearances. She and a team of scouts combed the forest, looking for clues. As they searched, they discovered a hidden web deep in the shadows of the forest, where the missing spiders were being held captive by a group of rogue spiders who had banded together under a spider named Malachite. Malachite had once been a member of Tarantus's colony, but had been exiled for his ruthless behavior. He had formed his own band of outcasts, preying on weaker spiders and stealing resources. Elara realized that this was a more dangerous threat than they had initially suspected. Returning to Silken Haven, Elara reported her findings to Arachne and the Council. "We must act quickly to rescue our fellow spiders and put an end to Malachite's reign of terror," she said. Arachne agreed, but she also emphasized the importance of not letting anger and fear dictate their actions. "We must approach this with a clear mind and a forgiving heart. Malachite and his followers are lost, but if we can offer them a chance for redemption, we should." Elara was skeptical, but trusted Arachne's wisdom. They devised a plan to infiltrate Malachite's web and rescue the captives. Elara led a team of skilled weavers and fighters, moving stealthily through the forest. When they reached Malachite's lair, they confronted him and his followers. A fierce battle ensued, with webs flying and spiders grappling in the shadows. Despite the chaos, Elara focused on her mission, to rescue the captives and bring them home safely. In the midst of the fight, Elara managed to reach Malachite. "This doesn't have to end in more bloodshed," she shouted. "You can stop this now and seek forgiveness. There's still a place for you in the forest if you choose a different path." Malachite hesitated, taken aback by her words. For a moment, it seemed he might relent, but his followers, driven by years of resentment and anger, urged him to continue the fight. Elara's heart sank, but she remained determined. With a final surge of effort, Elara and her team managed to subdue Malachite and his followers, freeing the captive spiders. They returned to Silken Haven, exhausted but victorious. The rescued spiders were welcomed back with relief and joy. Arachne addressed the colony, acknowledging the bravery of Elara and her team. "We have faced a great threat, but we have also been reminded of the power of forgiveness and redemption. Malachite and his followers chose a path of destruction, but we offered them a chance to change. Let us continue to practice forgiveness, even in the face of darkness." Elara reflected on the encounter with Malachite, realizing that while not every attempt at forgiveness would succeed, the effort itself was worthwhile. It was a lesson she would carry with her as the colony moved forward, stronger and more united than ever. As spring arrived, the forest around Silken Haven thrived, and the colony's spirit was stronger than ever. Elara, now the leader, reflected on the journey of forgiveness and unity that had brought them through countless challenges. One day, a messenger from Tarantus's colony arrived with a plea for help. They were facing a severe infestation of predatory insects. Elara, guided by Arachne's wisdom, decided to extend a hand of friendship. She organized a team to assist Tarantus's colony, bringing supplies and offering their expertise in web building and defense. The collaboration proved successful, and the two colonies worked side by side to eliminate the threat. This act of kindness not only saved Tarantus's colony, but also strengthened the bond between them. The forest, once divided, now echoed with the harmony of two united communities. Elara's leadership and commitment to forgiveness had transformed Silken Haven into a symbol of hope and resilience, proving that with understanding and compassion, they could overcome any obstacle together.